So as you can imagine, that's another like X mark of why I was so ashamed of being Haitian. Because it was like I didn't understand like why my mom felt the need to, I don't know. It was just like, especially the way Gladys was talking, like she was really mad at my mom. So I guess something happened. We ended up moving again. So now somebody that actually cared for us once again is taken away from my life. So then we ended up moving to, I think this time was like Lauderdale Lakes. And I remember there was this one, another of my mom coworkers, which was white, that used to come visit us when we moved. Or she started picking us up on the weekends, because mind you, again, we wasn't going to my auntie's house and that much, or my mom was like leaving us at home on the weekends. So we had our little routine on the weekends where we would just kind of chill. We knew what time exactly my mom got home, so we just had our own little routines on the weekend. But her name was Jan, Miss Jan, and she would come pick us up often. Now, mind you, we stayed in the hood, and when they would come pick us up, they're white, so these kids, it seemed like they never seen white people before, because every time they would come pick us up, it was like everybody was like, it was a standstill. Like everybody was just watching us while this white lady and this white man would pick us up on the weekends, and we wasn't allowed to play with any of the kids in the neighborhood because, of course, you know, we were girls and my brother was still young and he couldn't go outside like that. So they would come pick us up on the weekends a lot, and we was learning like just basically familyhood. Like they ate together, they spent time together, they taught me and my sister and they taught all of us how to ride a bike. It was like I loved that family unit that I would see, and I was like, yeah, I wish our family was like that, because it's both, I think but their kids was like in their teens, like, yeah, because one of them, we went to the oldest daughter's wedding, and so they would always like play with us, encourage us, and you know, like it was just nice, you know, to be in that environment, because like I said, my mom was mean, so we didn't get to hear like nice things, or what, it was always like negativity. Why we're not doing this, we're not doing this correctly, or nothing like that. So we always had that balance for a little bit. And then out of nowhere, this man that she just kept coming with her after work. We didn't know who he was. Mind you, life was better. It wasn't great, but it was better because we still had to wear uniforms even when we didn't have to, because my mom couldn't afford to buy all of us clothes, all of us shoes and stuff like that. So it was not bad. It was just like, okay, this is what it is, but at least our home life is like peaceful, you know what I'm saying? Because we still had fun, we still would play around, we still, you know, even with the little bit of channels that we had, we still like, it was nice. We was getting fed, and you know, there was nothing really to complain about. So when this man started coming with my mom, we didn't know who he was. And let me get off topic too, also, with a lot of like, that was one thing I really resented my mom about. And thank God, like, I had my sister and I and my brother, like, really had angels protecting us, because it's that stigma of, oh, you need to have a man in the house, you need to have a man in the house. Because I used to get in trouble because I used to tell everybody, and I used to get whoopings a lot of times, but that I was willing to get whoopings for. my mom used to get mad at me because once we found out who he was and who he was to her, she wanted us to tell people that that was our dad. And I'm like, no. And no, that's not my dad. I have a dad. You know, that's why I used to think. So this man kept coming with her. We didn't even know. It was like, okay, you bringing this stranger, not even telling us his name at first, because he was just coming with her all the time. And then what was pissing me off was when he was there, my mom would only cook for him. She would only cook for him. And it was like, okay, what about us? And then she would just leave like little bits to scrap for us to eat. And I didn't understand that. And, oh, that used to piss me off because we didn't know this guy. That's why I said I've been protected since I was little, because they lived in that mentality that, oh, you need to have a man. And this man could have been doing anything and everything he wanted to. And you had 2 little girls and a boy. You just moved this dude in the house. We don't even know who he is. Don't even introduce us. Don't even see if we even will connect with this man. You just... And then having to grow up and hear stories about how a lot of females that, you know, were saying how they were raped and molested because their moms was bringing all types of dudes homes and stuff like that. I'm like... and mind you, my mom's been in church, put in a church all, like, throughout my whole childhood. So that's how I know I've always been protected. Always. Even when I didn't know who the creator was, I always knew I had angels around me. Because for you to be bringing a whole strange man and don't know him that well around your kids, it don't make sense. And that's what's going around with a lot of these females nowadays also, because y'all looking for love within these men. And a lot of these men are really messed up their selves. A lot of these men are really messed up in their selves. So you're trying to look for love in this man and he can't even love himself properly, let alone try to love you correctly. Now he done went through some. Now you bringing this man into your house. You got kids. Now he messing with your kids, touching on your kid. Like, but you'll let that happen because you need a man in the house and you're not going to be able to do it by yourself. And mind you, this man was with us since we was like in 2nd grade. He didn't do shit. He did not do nothing. My mom was still doing everything by herself. So what was the whole point? This is what I'm taught. Like every single time, like even with both of the people that I have kids with, I had no problems leaving. I love you. Even though I loved you at the time, I had no problem. And I showed both of them many of times. I don't care how many times I went back. I always knew where the door was. I always knew when I was like, you know what, I can't do this no more. And a lot of y'all females feel like you have to have somebody to make it, and you don't. Like, yeah, it does help. But at the end of the day, are you going to sacrifice yourself and your kids for a dude that really don't give no about you or your kids? Is it really worth it to traumatize these little kids, these little babies that shouldn't be exposed to this negativity this so early, and then grow up to be messed up people, to have kids to mess them up as well? It doesn't make any sense.